I've always said I'm a blogger because I started on my blog first before Instagram was around. At the end of the day, I'm a content creator. I create content for my audience, and I'm also lucky enough to create content for brands. So I was in college going to school at UT, and I got my degree in nutrition. And the thought of becoming a dietitian working in a hospital sounded awful. Like I didn't want to do that rest of my life. And I was reading a couple of national blogs at that time that were all women driven, and I was really inspired by these women that had created these platforms for themselves. And I felt like, hey, I want to do that. Like that'd be a fun side project. You know, I felt like it was something that sounded kind of fun, and then the more I put into it, the more readership I got. And then 9 years later, A Taste of Koko has a blog and social and then now a product line and then its first book. When I talk to people, for me, it feels like one-on-one, even though people might think like, oh, she's talking one to the thousands, right? But for me, like even when I launch new products, I always kind of think like, okay, I'll be lucky if I sell one item. And I forget that there's thousands of people, but I always feel like I'm having a one-on-one with people. Hey guys, I am having lunch right now. It's been such a busy day, but I did remember to get lunch. I am craving a cheeseburger with french fries, of course. What are you having for lunch? There's so much that goes offline that people don't see, you know. It's about spending hours and hours every day answering emails, jumping on phone calls, meeting people in person for meetings, whether that's like a business meeting, or for me, because I'm a food blogger, I do a lot of restaurant visits. And for those, like I could easily do one every single day, or sometimes I try to group my days so that I don't have to put on makeup every day for photos. But also coordinating photo shoots with photographers, whether it's for a branded partnership or non-branded. And then I prefer to edit all my photos, so then I will spend 4-3 hours every night then editing the photos from the photo shoots of that day. Then also scheduling it is drafting up all the copy, dropping it into Planoly. The end result is what someone sees. It's just that in-feed post. But people don't know that there's hours and hours that went behind that to make that happen. And then after the post goes live, you have to answer the comments and the DMs and other questions that come with that. I've always felt very privileged to be in the position that I am, that people do come to me with questions. And I think it takes a lot to be in that position where people feel like, I can ask Jane where I should eat. I can ask her what, I'm gonna do this weekend, or I can see like, oh, she quit her job and she was able to start something, and I can ask her what her journey is that I can answer questions like that. Like, sure, I don't have to answer them, but the thing is, there's been so many people that have stopped and told me like, hey, you won't remember me, but 5 years ago I sent you an email and said, hey, should I quit my job to start this like XYZ side hustle? And you gave me that extra push. And I think if I can just, even if it takes like 5 minutes of my day or takes an hour of my day to go, get some contacts for somebody, it can make a big difference for somebody. I think what keeps me going, doing what I'm doing, is the way it affects people. It's not so much like how far do I get and where is A Taste of Koko going to be in a couple of years, but it's more so like the conversations that I get from individuals. Like, hey, because of what you've done, I felt like I could do the same. Or you took 30 minutes out of your day to give me advice about this. Like, that's why I keep doing what I'm doing.